Sup, my dudes, Val here. Today we're going to be going over a JP tier list. As you can see, the website is right there at media.jp/Tensura, etc. You guys can see we're just going to be going over the JP tier list and I'm going to be giving my thoughts, whether I agree or disagree with characters' placement and stuff like that, but we're just going to be going over it. We're going to start from the top and work our way down, the SS tiers. Keep in mind, tier lists are very subjective. Not a lot of teams or not a lot of units have teams yet. In fact, there's going to be units that I don't even have that I'm going to be giving my opinion on based off their kit and off of my experience in playing the game. So it's all subjective. It's an opinion. Everyone has their own opinion about stuff. So I'm going to be giving mine based off this tier list. So at the very first, we have SS tier. We have Windmillum. We have Space Rimuru, and then we have Diablo, Godablo. I genuinely think Diablo is the best unit in the game. I've said that for a long time. He just offers everything. He has a single target ult. He has a really good self buff. He also lowers the enemy's resistance, which, as far as I know, he's the only one that does that still in the game. And he's also a converter, a very, very cheap 15 cost converter at that. So even if you just need the extra skill gauge gain that he gives you, because he converts green to blue, if you need the extra blue gauge that he gives, it's phenomenal for that. He's a very, very good unit all around, no negative downsides whatsoever. I think he's the best, if not one of the best units in the game, so I agree with him up there. Windmillum. Now, Windmillum has a juiced up version of what makes Veldora good, essentially. Windmillum has an ultimate damage boost card. Not only does it boost ultimate damage, it also increases her own critical damage by 20%, but she boosts, whereas Veldora caps out about 60% ultimate damage boost. Windmillum goes all the way up to 80, I believe. That's cracked. The only downside to Windmillum is the fact she has an AoE ult. AoE ults are just unnecessary in the current state of the game we have. Even Heroes Jubilee they shown, it's going to be single target. So it's like when AoE ults kind of just kill a unit like really quickly. Then we have Space Rimuru. Space Rimuru has the strongest attack buff in the game. It's team-wide. I think it goes up to 40%. It's very, very powerful. And a 2-turn defense up for the same cost that other people have 1-turn defense up. Really, really, really good unit. The only downside, once again, is AoE ults. Like I said, I don't know what it is with them giving really, really good units AoE ults, but I think that's just the way of balancing it. But yeah, AoE ults. That's why I consider Diablo the best unit in the game. I agree with those in SS tier. I think that's good. Veldora. Veldora, I'm going to assume these aren't in any order, but Veldora S tier, I can agree with that. Veldora is a very good unit. He has a very good passive through the counterattacks, adding 9% to your counterattack once you get him at least 3 dupes. And he also, the decreasing critical damage of enemies, I've got it maxed out, and I've been using it quite a bit. It doesn't seem to be too valuable. It doesn't really make that much of a difference, but his ultimate damage boost up to 60% is really, really, really good. You basically use that to set up giant nukes within a Dark Xion team. Beretta's okay. Beretta's a converter, good to have. I don't know if I may need to invest more in Beretta, but Beretta, like, a lot of Dark team right now revolves around protection, and Beretta kind of fights that because she's a blue to orange converter, and it puts it in kind of a weird spot. I think Beretta is a fantastic unit, checks all the boxes, single target ult, etc. Just iffy on that. But then we have Dark Millum. Like, I do believe Beretta earns S tier. I'm going to throw that out there right now. Then we have Dark Millum. Dark Millum in S tier is actually, I think, in context of her team, she's incredibly important, but just as an overall unit, I can see this. I think she's a phenomenal unit. I think a lot of people sleep on the 55% critical resistance. I think that is a very, very big thing people sleep on. It's very valuable. It's helped me a lot. It's almost as good as just a defense buff. And then other than that, she is an orange to blue converter, which is extremely invaluable for a dark team. Like her and Diablo with the Dark Xion is the dark team right now. Like those are the 3 units you need to have that make that team really function. She's one of the 3. She's away. She is the only 5-star fire single target ult. Really, really good. She's also a converter. She is kind of she's in the same situation as like Gazelle in my opinion, but I think Gazelle's way better than her. She is a very strong unit without a team. Ifrit especially, Ifrit's a really strong protector. Just no real team right now for fire because you have the Shizue and you have the Benimaru, and the Benimaru is okay. Not anywhere near the level of the Shizue, and also you have a really strong protector in Ifrit, so I think once we get more fire units, she'll be able to shine a lot better. Then you have Light Shion, she's also a protector. I believe, off the top of my head, she is orange to blue, I want to say, which I'm guessing is meant to synergize with the Ramorous lead. The Ramorous lead is good just for the... actually, no, you would want to actually... You kind of want to turn it to that. You would want a green to blue protector or a green to blue conversion instead of an orange to blue because the Ramorous fully converts orange to blue. So you'd rather have the Shion, or the Shuna, excuse me, you'd rather have the light Shuna convert green to blue. So yeah, I think she'll lose a lot of value as time goes on, but we'll see. Then we have Gazelle. Now Gazelle, here's where the start of my rampant opinions that people probably aren't going to like is going to begin with Gazelle. I think Gazelle's SS. I think Gazelle is extremely powerful. Gazelle right now is one of the hardest hitting units in the game without an actual team. There's not really a good light team that you can go forward. There's a good number of strong 4-star light characters, but I think that the Gazelle is just so genuinely good even without a team that he brute forces his way into the SS tier, and once he gets a team, he's just going to shine unbelievably well. And then another unit, Hakaru. I think, honestly, Hakaru is like either super top S tier or SS tier, or like just barely. He's like right on that line because he's the only way a normal unit that's name is not Demon Lord Rimuru or 4-star Light Benimaru can crit. He's the only unit in the game that gives a team-wide crit buff to the extent he does. So he is somewhere between S and SS because he provides a similar buff to like the Space Rimuru in the fact that he allows units to crit that normally couldn't. Granted, it's still heavily RNG, it's not 100%, so that's why I take points away. And he's got a single target ult, which is really, really cracked. He's a super powerful unit, he's super phenomenal. And then we go to what's going to be another controversial opinion, I think. I think a lot of people are going to like this opinion too. I think Valentine is exactly perfectly where she's at. So, let me explain. A lot of people see the Carabitas team with Valentine. They're like, oh my god, this team is so cracked. And they think a lot of these successes due to Valentine. I think she's really overhyped right now currently. I think she's a very powerful unit inside of her conversion. And sorry if I make noise there. I'm hitting the cord on accident. But I think she's a very powerful unit inside of her conversion and healing skill. But the thing is Carabitas is broken. Now, I slept on Carabitas heavily. I didn't realize Carabitas, the 150%, applied to all 3 skill gauges and not just solo skills. I thought it just applied to solo skills. It's mostly on my fault for not actually properly testing it because I just didn't think that that would be a thing, that it would apply to all 3 gauges at once. Because it applies to all 3 gauges at once, Carabitas is actually one of the most broken protectors in the game. Even without a converter, you just run all converters with Carabitas and you basically have a cracked out team. The thing is that she is a 2 green converter. Her heal is really good, but Valentine's 2 green conversion is what makes her good. If she did not convert to green, she would not be good because she wouldn't be able to be used on the Carabitas team. Actually, she would still be a really solid unit. Let me not say that. She would still be a really, really solid unit. She just wouldn't be on the Carabitas team. And because she's drawing more attention to that Carabitas team, that Carabitas is broken as hell. And she kind of draws attention to that. So hopefully that explains why I think she is S tier, not SS. I know that one's going to get a lot of flack, but that's genuinely what I think. Then we have Sue. Sue is another single target ult. Single target ult is always good. Sue is also a, what is it? Orange to green converter, I think. Yeah, I want to say orange to green converter. And then for his second skill, it is defense up for 1 turn and then divine protection damage. Sue shines really well in a Dark Xian team. But, But with the Dark Shion team, he is really weak because Dark Shion only buffs Dark and Fire, which is why I've been trying to put Shizue into the Shion team. So it ends up putting him in like a really weird spot. The fact that he only converts like orange to green. I mean, orange to green is a good conversion, provided you actually have the Shion Protector skill ready to go to convert that green then to blue, so you can constantly self-fund and constantly mill out cards, because this game's all about having big PP turns really, really quickly. So, I think S tier is actually warranted. The second skill is pretty good. Like I said, it can ramp out to where you can get some solid Divine Protection skill, or Divine Protection damage. So next, we're going to talk about the Water Rimuru. Water Rimuru, basically the only notable skill he has is the team heal that then turns and buffs Divine Protection damage, which I think is, it's okay, but I mean, what makes, it's like, if Valentine is S tier, because conversion plus team heal plus skill damage, this Rimuru is like way below that Valentine, because it's just got the, maybe I was sleeping on the first skill because I haven't properly tested them. I haven't like ran through it and tested it, but just off of reading it, off of how much playtime I've had in the game and everything, the first skill just kind of whatever. But the second skill, the team heal, it can be good, but why would I not just use the Valentine, right? Like, I think he's a solid unit, just nowhere near the Valentine. Then we have Trainee, once again, a very solid unit. Team heal, once again, very, very good. I agree with the placement, S tier. Right there with that Rimuru. And then we have Alice. Alice is either SSSS tier, best unit in the game, or the worst unit in the game, depending on your luck. My luck is terrible. So I don't use Alice, and I've never used Alice since the beginning because it took me 3 hours to hit a single stun. So I hate Alice. I hate the Alice cheese strat. I'll never use it. So then we go down to A tier. This one seems actually more or less accurate to me. We have Earth Milim. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have no idea what Space Ragna does. Benimaru. And then we have Wind Shuna, Demon Lord Rimuru, and Dark Shion. I kind of agree with all these placements, and Benimaru being the best of the 4-star. If we're comparing them at the exact same level of investment, I can agree with that. I agree with all of them being a little bit lower, because like a good example is Earth Milim. Earth Milim has the exact same ability as Space Rimuru, but Space Rimuru, exact same ability, exact same cost, but Space Rimuru's is literally 2 turns. Exact same ability, exact same cost as Sue's defense up, but Sue's gives 5% to protection damage. Stuff like that. And then Benimaru is just like a bunch of self buffs, but an AoE ult, very similar to Demon Lord Rimuru. I don't think they're that good. I think AoE ults kill in a very offensive heavy unit. Just in the current state of the game, we don't need AoE ults, and nothing that's coming has shown me that we need AoE ults. Wind Shuna is a very solid free-to-play unit, but really, really low stat-wise. So if we're looking at all of them equal investment, I can see why Wind Shuna is pretty low. I have no idea what Space Ragna does. And then for Shion, it's just me personally from using her, because I have used her in a Dart team. There's just not a ton of content that needs Pierce, because Pierce is mostly for guard and stuff, if I'm not mistaken. There's not a ton of content that actually needs Pierce, but if you happen to get Pierce, or Pierce is mostly for like Carabitas and stuff, but if you happen to need Pierce, she's really, really valuable, but there's just not a bunch of it, right? And outside of the Pierce stuff, she's kind of just whatever. She's kind of just there. Anyways, that's basically my opinion on this tier list. Let me know your guys' opinion on my opinions in the comment section below. If you guys are curious, you can see right there at media.jptensura. You guys can go look at it for yourself. I made sure to keep the URL available for you guys. But that's my opinion on just the 5 stars. All the 4 stars I'm not going to go into. I don't want this to be a half-hour long video. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.